shooting this the morning after rather than the evening of the actual game, Johnny. And what, pray tell, hat are you wearing right now? I had a family Christmas party to go to. Sometimes things happen that delays work that has to be done. But hey, let's all be happy and not focus on a negative. They won another game. Oh, there is that. Before you fly off the handle, Johnny, take a deep breath. Does someone somewhere have a voodoo doll collection of this roster? As always, not helping. I guess the season's over. So, that was the plan.
Why does it say placed on waivers?
Nothing said. I have to talk about dumb moves and a Pets front office. What the hell did I just watch? Do I really need to be here for this at this point?
I'm not having flashbacks to Game 4 against the Canucks last spring.
At this point, Johnny, you can just splice together old intros. Cutie intro.
Redemption take you home.
Everybody's hands go up, way up, as Nashville Predators defeat the New York Rangers by a final score of 2-1 Sunday night inside Bridgestone Arena. Another goal by Philip Forsberg. He's really cooking right now. A respectable performance by Justus. Despite the low shot total, he was really good in relief of Saros in a back-to-back situation. And Steven Stamkos with another tally gets himself one step closer to 600. Preds winning this game, and me shooting the Preds fan reaction video the morning after definitely makes up for the fact that I had to re-watch this game this morning off the DVR on the Rangers feed. Thank you again, NHL Center Ice. When the Preds are at home, I should most definitely, unless it's a nationally televised game, get the Preds feed. Preds are playing in their last home game for the 2025 calendar year before embarking on a 7-game road trip that will have the Christmas break sandwiched in between it, as well as their last back-to-back situation for this year as well. Fortunately, no advantage for their opponents, as the Rangers are also playing on the second half of a back-to-back, having beaten the Flyers Saturday night at MSG. And let me tell you, despite what you might see on the scoreboard, unless you watch this game yourself, this game really wasn't that close, and we saw it from the get-go. Nearly halfway through the first period, it's the Preds with the better legs, and they're nearly outshooting the Rangers by a 2-1 margin. Preds with the first man advantage, under 8 minutes left to go in the first period. Will Borgen interferes with Michael Bunting, but the Preds can't convert. Eventually, come the conclusion of the first period. Yeah, this game is scoreless, but the Preds are dominating early, outshooting the Rangers in that first period, 15-6. Halfway through the second period, the Rangers haven't even hit double digits in shots on goal, and the Preds are nearly at 20. Finally, a break, about 9.5 left to go in the second period. Adam Wilsby in his own zone, to Annanen's left, plays it back behind a board, behind Annanen's net, where it curves around, and Ryan O'Reilly carries it out down the right wing board. He crisscrosses into center ice. No look passes as he enters the Rangers zone to his buddy Philip Forsberg, who without warning snaps it roof job over Jonathan Quick's glove. It's in the net. The Preds get that all-important first goal of the game and lead this one 1-0. That's Phil Forsberg's 16th goal of the game. It leads the team, and it's his 6th goal in his last 6 games. In the last 5 minutes of the third period, the Preds get called for a Cole Smith cross-checking penalty. Rangers unable to score. Arguably the best chance for either team during that shorthanded time for the Preds was Nick Hague, who beat Quick, but for the Preds hit their 3rd post of the game so far. And then the other way, despite the Rangers' Vincent Trocheck getting a chance that's deflected away by Nick Blankenberg, the Preds unable to extend their lead with Artemi Panarin in the box for hooking Roman Josi. Second period finally comes to an end. Preds still lead 1-0, and you might think that this is a precarious lead, but I wasn't really worried in that moment when that horn sound for the second intermission. Preds were still dominating the Rangers to that point, outshooting them 11-4 in the second period, 26-11 overall. In the third period, a much more competitive period for the Rangers, I guess you could argue, seeing as they outshot the Preds finally in a period, only slightly, by the total of 7-6. Rangers can't score with Michael McCarron in the box for high-sticking Brennan Othmann. Almost the halfway point of the third period, Philip Forsberg with a clean-cut breakaway to try and put this game out of reach for the Rangers, but Jonathan Quick bails out his Rangers teammates. Props to the MSG crew for giving condolences on the passing of Sheila Chris, as they mentioned her and Terry Chris with about 8.5 left to go during a stoppage in play. About 4 minutes left to go in regulation. Philip Forsberg gets called for delay of game. He protests. Bruno might have considered challenging, but he doesn't. And you realize that if he did and he was wrong, it would have given the Rangers a 2-man advantage. So they just took their medicine and settled for the Rangers having the 2-minute power play with a 1-man advantage. Preds would kill off Philip Forsberg's delay of game penalty. Surprisingly, at least to me, Mike Sullivan didn't consider pulling Jonathan Quick for a 6-on-4 advantage. Instead, Mike Sullivan pulls Jonathan Quick with 90 seconds left to go in regulation. Rangers with maybe one good look to try and tie this game. Instead, with 48 seconds left to go in regulation, Steven Stamkos from his own blue line gets a great chance and fires the puck into the vacated net at the other end of the ice. It goes in. Preds lead now 2-0. That is Steven Stamkos' 14th goal of the season. Also, his 6th goal in his last 6 games. A 4-goal game will really help out that stat. He is now 4 goals away from 600. Unfortunately, the Preds will still be without a shutout completed this season because 11 seconds after Stamkos scored, Rangers come back down into the Preds zone. Johnny Brzezinski puts his 3rd of the season past Annunen, cutting the Preds lead down to 2-1, but that's all the Rangers would get. Preds get the puck again, get into the Rangers zone, kill off the remainder of the clock. Horn sounds, and the Preds win this one 2-1. Back-to-back home wins by the Preds, where the game-winning goal was technically an empty net goal. That's got to be a new stat in franchise history, and it just so happened that Steven Stamkos in this instant did it both times. Yes, in the end, this was a 1-goal game win by the Preds. But were you really scared at all that the Rangers were going to come back and tie this game and possibly win? Because I wasn't. Well, that's a way to rebound against this same Rangers team that embarrassed you a month ago in MSG. What is this team right now? Since American Thanksgiving, they've won 9 of their last 13 games. Remember how I mentioned Saturday night that the Preds ended last week with the win over the Leafs by winning a week? Well, they start a new week on a winning note. It's the Preds' first back-to-back wins on back-to-back days since the beginning of the 2025 calendar, when they defeated Vancouver and Calgary on the road. The last time the Preds won back-to-back games on home ice, you have to go all the way back to January 16th and 17th of 2023, when he defeated the Calgary Flames and the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's a span of 718 days. The Bridgestone faithful has seen the last of the Preds for the 2025 season because of the upcoming road trip and Christmas break. The Preds will not return to Bridgestone Arena ice until January 8th, 2026, when they will take on the New York Islanders. This team has one more game before the Christmas break on Tuesday in St. Paul, Minnesota against the Minnesota Wild. We all remember the Preds' last trip there and how that game ended in overtime. Let's see if this team can give us one more gift before Santa comes later this weekend. Maybe, just maybe, get this team back to 500 for the first time since the start of the season. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media and interact with me during every Preds game by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption and how red hot this team is since American Thanksgiving. My goodness me. Everyone, basically everyone, deserves a chance at redemption. Don't miss the chance to witness redemption.